Hello, welcome to the Torch University. I hope that you all like, comment, share, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you want to support the channel, my Cash App is in the channel description. Now, I have a very important message for you all today. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you handle it. It's not about who broke up with you, it's about how you handle that breakup. It's not about not having the amount of money you want. It's about how will you go and get that money. It's not about what someone says you should be. It's about what you are. It's not about why someone did something or how they did it. What's more important is how will you react? How will you respond? How will you remain in control? That's my moral. That's my lesson for today. Now, to get a little deeper into this, I'm going to give you a few stories. So, as many of you may know, I am trying to publish a book. That ain't cheap. I need money to do that. And in doing that, I could sit back and I could worry of, oh man, how am I going to pay for it? How am I going to make all that money? How am I going to, pay for this month or that month? Or how am I going to do it? What am I going to do? And I could sit back and I could panic all day. Or, I could deep breath, calm down, relax myself, and go, okay, who's hiring? Okay, I know McDonald's hiring. I know Wendy's hiring. I know this place, that place, this place hiring. Okay, now what am I good at? Okay, I know I'm good at these things. I can talk to people well. I can fully articulate myself. I can read and write well. Communication skills. Okay, so that's, all those are communication skills. I can work out. I have enough strength to move things around. So, okay, I'm capable of moving things like packages, boxes of foods. Okay. I really enjoy animals. Oh no, I'm going to say that for another part. I really am good at, whatever thing may be. I can walk around for long amounts of time. So if I have to walk around the restaurant or the business for a long amount of time, I can do that. Now, what do I like to do? Okay, I really like animals. I really like being active, so I like moving around. I really like these things. Okay, what do I not like? I do not like certain things such as, I don't like cramped spaces. I do not like cramped spaces. I don't like really hot and oily areas. I don't like, having to deal with rude people. I don't like that. That's not my cup of tea. I'll do it, so I'm willing to do it, but I really don't like doing it. So now, rather than me sitting and going, oh, how am I gonna get this done? Oh my gosh, I'm panicking so much. This is so terrible. I can instead sit back and realize, okay, here's a solution. There's places hiring. I have the skill set required. I am the age required. I can then use my skill set to proceed to get this job, to make money, to finance my book. I can also grow my YouTube channel, make some money off advertisements and things like that. That's going to be further down the line, though, because, you got to have a lot of viewers to actually make a significant amount of money on videos. So then through that, I realized, well, if people decide they want to donate to my Cash App, that can help me support the book, too. So now I have found solutions. Yeah, I still haven't gotten hired at that job, but I have figured out a solution. I figured out a solution that would work. And I want you to start applying this to your life. I want you to start applying the logic of, instead of, oh my God, this sucks so bad, what am I going to do? Oh no, woe is me. Instead, try and think on, how can I solve this? Okay? Let's say it's not something you can solve. Let's say it's not something you can solve. But instead, look at it as, okay, by a situation I mean where you can't solve it. that would be things like you got fired from a specific job, like that one job, you cannot solve that individual job. But what you can solve is the issue of not having a job. You can find another job. Or another situation where you can't solve that individual situation would be a family member passing away, a breakup, and that person is just like, they do not want you back under any circumstances, or you don't want them back under any circumstances. Instead of solving these things, you can find a way to make it bearable, to find a way to make it easier to handle, to find a way to make it more livable. Now, any pain, any kind of suffering, as much as your mind can tell you that this is false, as much as there are situations where people are in things where it's arguable for someone to say that that's not bearable, I have found in my own life and in observing the lives of others that have been through crazy things, like way worse than I have been, almost any pain is bearable. Almost any suffering is bearable. Because when you finally do come out of it, you become so much stronger. It's like a sword. A sword did not become sharp without being grinded down. A sword does not become a sword without being melted and torn to its absolute core. A sword does not become strong without pressure, without pain, without hammering. A sword did not become strong without heat, without being dipped in and cooled and heated and hammered and grinded and torn and melted. A sword did not become strong without that. Look at your pain, look at your struggles like you are a sword being formed. You are going in the furnace. You are going through heat, through pressure, through trials and tribulations, so that at the end, you become much stronger. At the end, you become a much more sufficient, much stronger, much more powerful, much more potent person. And in how we handle things, this is not just important in, the basic things such as, our day-to-day relationships, our day-to-day problems, but also the extreme things too. Like I said, losses in family, losses in jobs, evictions, a project that, you got to put a lot into. But also somebody who just getting on your nerves. How you handle that is really going to determine a lot of things. Because if somebody getting under your skin, if somebody is, poking at you, messing with you, annoying you, you could punch them in their teeth. You really could go and do that. But if you do that, and then they swing back on you and you get knocked out, that's on you. So, in that situation, had you handled it by, just moving on with your day, you wouldn't have just got knocked out. Alright, now let's say you hit them, you knock them out, boom, they fall on the ground. They get a concussion, they get like a brain hemorrhage, and they brain start bleeding and they die or something. Now you're getting charged with murder because of how you handled that. Not because of what they did, but because of how you just handled that. And in that example, that's a little backwards because it's like, well, you swung at me first, so I swung back. But the way you handled that was the way you handled it. Yeah, I'm not saying let people just walk all over you. No, never. I would never tell you to do that. If somebody hit you first, I would recommend you hit them back. But if somebody says words, if someone says words, and you move that to physical violence, that is different. Now, and also, just remember, a lot of times we don't necessarily fear, we usually don't fear what is happening to us. Instead, what we fear is what could happen. We don't actually fear the situation we know. We fear the situation we don't know. And that's going to be another thing I'm going to talk about some other time. Like, most worry, like pretty much, yeah, all worry isn't necessarily what we know right now to be true, but we fear could become true. And when we're operating out of fear and we're reacting and going about our life through a lens of fear, it makes so many things harder for us. It really does. It makes you behave different. It makes you fear. It makes you worry too much. It makes you see things that aren't there. And I mean that in the sense of, because you don't have as much money as you'd like to, you're afraid that something could come up and now you become homeless when nothing might not come up. Yeah, nothing might. I'm pretty sure that's a double negative, so that sentence might not have made sense. But what I mean is, you're worried about something that did not happen. You're worried that, oh, because I don't have enough money right now, something else could come up, and now there's a major emergency. And yeah, you should always be prepared for that kind of stuff. You should always be prepared, but you should not necessarily panic and constantly worry on it. That's just my thoughts on it. If you disagree, you can feel free to disagree and let me know that in the comments. But to put it simply, it's not necessarily what happens to us that is the main problem. The main problem is how we're going to react to it. Because how we react to it could take a problem and not make it a problem. Like, if someone comes up to me and they say, "Oh, I don't like your hair," I don't really care. So I don't see a problem there. Someone else could come up to somebody else and say, "Oh, I don't like your hair," and then they start crying about it, or they start a fight, or they start, acting in a way where it becomes a problem, whereas I didn't act that way. And we both went through the exact same thing. We both were told the exact same thing by the exact same person at the exact same time. But because I reacted differently, I handled it differently, there was no problem. Whereas the other person reacted differently, it became a problem. There was a problem for them, but there wasn't for me. Same situation, same issue, same thing, but one reacted differently. Another reacted differently. One has a problem, the other does not have a problem. I hope that was clear to you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe. And I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Always remember, I wish you the best. Stay blessed. Keep your head up. And always remember, things get better. Handle things proper, and proper results shall follow. I love each and every one of you. Have a good day.